single. It's called "The Promise." That's his first song on, of course, his new label, his new record label. So well done to David. And that's, the first of many on the new label, obviously. Now, Colin Murphy, a comedian and TV presenter. We know him well from the TV. And so all too well, he's been like a permanent fixture on the TV for, well, forever. And he's also a writer and an actor. And it's not just about the TV shows, because we know him from like the Blizzard of Odd and The Panel. And then there's films, believe it or not, films like Divorcing Jack and The Most Fertile Man. Decent films. So, this is a man not to be underestimated. Anyhow, best known, I suppose, for The Blame Game, because he's a regular panellist on The Blame Game. That's it's a topical news comedy show, and that's been on since 2005. And Colin's been in it since then, or the whole way through. Now, his last tour, he's back doing stand-up again. His last tour was called Colonisation. It was a sellout, but he's back on the road. This is his biggest tour, an extensive tour around Ireland. And it's called Whatchamacallin'. Great title. And Colin joins us now on Zoom. We're streaming as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed that he doesn't freeze on us as he was there. He's gone again. He's gone again. Hold on. How are you?
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Yeah. Well, sure, if you freeze, we'll try and resurrect it on phone. We're not going to be beat. How's things?
Good, yeah, really good. We're out and about. We're moving around the world again. It's fantastic.
This is an extensive tour. You have every weekend taken up now until July. How's the
Yeah, it's mostly up north, and then I have a few down south. I'm just adding more. I'm adding in Cork and hopefully Galway soon, and maybe Dublin in the autumn. But yeah, no, it's pretty full on since beginning of February.
So, what do you touch on this tour? Is just everything and anything, or are there?
Exactly. There was a hiatus for 2 years, so. Yeah, it's not about anything. There's a tiny bit about that, the thing we shouldn't talk about, because everyone's sick to the back teeth of it. But it can't be ignored, and it's had knock-on effects on all our lives and my family life, my parents, and that kind of thing. So it's we've all experienced it in different ways. So there is a bit of that, and then the rest of it is. Just a load of nonsense that's gone on. That's basically it.
Topical nonsense.
Not topical nonsense, no, just stuff that's happened to me and in the world. And I suppose a wee bit of topical thing, but
a lot of personal nonsense then.
A lot of personal nonsense, and a wee bit of filth and a bit of language, sure, that's the usual.
Yeah. All good. People, as I mentioned there in the intro, people know you well from the telly. And when you meet people, do they go, oh, I'm going to have to be careful here because this man's going to tear me up if I just say as much as one word wrong. He's going to have me for dinner. So are people weary of you when they meet you?
They most of the time they think they know me because I went to school with them or I'm a friend of their dad's, and it's only when they've got about 3-4 pints in them, then they know exactly who I am.
Oh, right, yeah.
But the rest of the time, they're not really sure. They go, are you that? No. And then they think they know me from somewhere else, and you can see it in their eyes when it dawns on them who they go, and him, oh. And, it's... People's memories come back when they're drunk. It's the opposite of what other people think.
Do you have to change the show much as you go around? Like, is there a different show in Belfast to the one that you do down in Cork, or is it just, teeny tweaks?
Just teeny bits, references, cultural things, that sort of stuff, TV shows that maybe aren't as popular, maybe down in Cork as they are up here, or... absolutely, politicians and things. You only talk about people that they're going to understand and know. Yeah, that's the only real thing. Everything else is basically the same.
The Blame Game has been some juggernaut, hasn't it?
I know.
But what is it about? What is it about? Why did it? Why has it gone on so long? Why has it been such a success? And why has it straddled all the, kind of intergenerational and changes in TV and all the rest of it? It's gone through them all.
It's the thing that amazes us that we're still able to get new material, considering how cyclical Northern Ireland politics and news is. We could actually, if we want to do news stories from 15 years ago, and just they're the same people, they're the same things, but somehow we have to try and find a new way to talk about it, make it interesting or funny, and we get as frustrated as every single other person watching the news, and we get as fed up with all those people, and so we have to find another way to have a go at them, make fun of them. That's the hardest bit about it.
But is it not that, is it not that they play the type all the time, and that in a sort of a way? What?
It's depressing, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it also makes it a bit easier to poke fun at them.
Yeah. But it's the same thing over and over again, and it just gets on your wick. It's just you don't want to, especially certain people. You don't want to turn them into cuddly characters. Put it that way.
Yeah,
because they're not. They're quite dangerous, manipulative people that you can't be doing that. So you have to remember that all the time.
Yeah, okay.
And try and get a good dig in and really let go sometimes. But it's because the reason more people watch it now than ever is big, especially in the north, and that would include sort of around the border areas as well, is that it's people talking about the world that they know, and especially England just seems to, for all the dairy girls and all this sort of stuff, it doesn't really care about us. And we're only ever brought on the TV to be a cliche, or to be to be the dairy ones that run around getting drunk and things. And albeit how brilliant it is a show, it just, it's not real for,
No, it's
them.
not, but it's an entirely different sort of a show as well.
Exactly. It's so when we're on talking about real things, they're not so keen, because they don't know anything. They don't know any of they're not taught about it in school. They don't do any of it in history. They're being taught. Sorry, this is I've nieces and nephews who are being taught about the Good Friday Agreement this year in school, in a very posh school in Oxford.
Yes,
and it's on the curriculum this year. So I think I don't know how they're going to fit in the previous 800 years. Is that going to be a Monday afternoon maybe, and then on Tuesday they'll do the Good Friday Agreement. Maybe that's the way they'll work it.
Yeah, the 800 years in passing, and then the Good Friday Agreement at length. It's hard to believe right enough that there's a whole generation now that weren't aware of the troubles, weren't around for the troubles, didn't have any experience of them, and have to be taught about them in school.
I know. Yeah. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is good, and long may it continue. Yes. What's this about art? You being an artist? And just before I try to poke some fun at it, I mean, an artist, must be of some renown, because I'm just reading here, you've had your work exhibited at the Royal Academy in London, the Royal Hibernian Academy in Dublin, and the Royal Ulster Academy in Belfast. Wherever there's a royal in the title, we could find your art.
Oh, I'm hell for a royal. I'm just hoping one of them is actually going to buy it, and then I'll be made. That's the main thing.
What sort of art? What sort of art?
I paint, and it's figurative stuff. Easy. If anybody wants to look at it, it's on Instagram. I've got a wee account, and it's called Colin Murphy Art. Just look on there.
Okay.
And I sort of keep it separate from the TV comedy stuff. It's for another thing to do. But I started back. I went to art school years ago, like when I was a student, and then didn't do anything for years, and then probably just before actually the whole thing happened, so in about 2015 I started painting again, and then of course lockdown happened, and that was brilliant. So I was just painting away in my little tiny studio that I built in the bottom of the garden, and kept doing and putting stuff into shows. And so I'm in Royal Hibernian again this year. I've got 2 in this year. I'm going on the shortlist for the Royal Academy in London, so I have to go over a couple of weeks and drop some work over there. And that's how it works. You apply, and they look at your work, and if they figure it's good enough, then they'll hang it up. Yeah, you apply online with a digital image, and then if they want to see it, they do a shortlist. So they whittle down the 5,000 people down to 400, and then they actually show 300. So that's the way it works.
So if I buy a Colin Murphy now, I'm going to be rich in 10 years' time. Yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
absolutely.
You froze there, Colin. You froze there.
Yeah.
Right.
I won't be. But
back to the show tonight. It's a great title for the tour, and you're well into it now with dates.
yeah.
Response.
Tonight. I'm in Letterkenny
Yes.
in Breslin, which is a brilliant room, and that's at 8:00 tonight. There's tickets still available on the door. And in Strabane tomorrow night. I know you've listenership.
Yeah,
part of the world
absolutely.
as well.
Yeah, the Alley Theatre. Okay.
Yeah,
brilliant.
and another great room. So I'm in there tomorrow night as well. And there's a few tickets on the door for that as well.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, listen, enjoy the two dates, and I'm sure you always get a good response in both places, and the rest of the tour as well, Colin.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks.
Hopefully we'll chat again.
Good. Good
Right.
talk.
Take care.
Bye.